is starting now. All right, what is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, doing some more live streams, man. It's Thursday. We're late as usual. That's just what us black people do. We're late all the time. But yeah, I'm joined by the one, the only, the Mr. Arachnid Soul.
Damn, I'm over here taking a nap. I was like, when is he gonna introduce me?
I had to do my introduction first because that's
Oh, all
just what I
right.
do.
Well, the people paid to see the movie star.
Who, me? Wait,
No,
none of us are stars. What are you talking about, man?
you, you, you you know who I'm talking about. Me over here, as handsome as about 15 Brad Pitts and Elvises put together.
Arachnid Plus. Anyway,
Anyway, I can't actually see his screen, by the way, people out there watching the live stream. So I'm assuming you're playing some Legos Batman.
nah, see, I couldn't find my Legos Batman because my 4-year-old stole it.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'll get the Legos Batman out soon. Don't worry about that. It's gonna come
All right.
eventually.
Well, I mean, it's nice that you're claiming that kid now. All it took was a little visit to Maury Povich.
Murray Povey. What are you talking about? I was on Murray.
Oh, okay. All right.
That lie detector test is OP.
Anyway, what are you looking for? Some OWC fights tonight?
Well, I'm gonna get in some OWC fights. I'm gonna fight one subscriber first, cause a lot of people seem to like the match that we had with Lennox Lewis and Joe Frazier last week. Well, not
Mm.
last week, the past Tuesday. Remember, guys, I do stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Usually late on Thursdays.
Well, usually late on days that you stream, period, but
All right, but I don't want to say I'm late because the real reason behind it being the fact that I was outside or I was taking care of kids.
well, yeah, I took care of the audience for you. I sent a little tweet out on my Twitter machine a couple of seconds ago, well, about 20 minutes ago, letting them know exactly what was going on, that you were going to be late, why you were going to be late.
Oh, you told them?
Yeah.
You told them about the racist guys I was dealing with?
No, I didn't. I mean, I only had 140 characters.
God.
I couldn't get the word assholes in there.
Damn, well, that's sad. Well, we're going to try a little lightweight match. I never do any lightweight matches.
I mean, those are the best boxers.
The lightweight boxes?
Yeah, I mean, don't you appreciate the conditioning and the work rate of a smaller fighter?
Well, of course I do. I mean, they don't have the significant power like a heavyweight would, but
Don't
every
need
weight
it.
class each to its own, man. Each weight class carries something special.
I mean, honestly, they don't need the power though because they do have the speed behind the punches, and it's not like you're gonna have a lightweight in there with the guy who's 400-pound Butterbean. A lightweight can drop a lightweight. I like the scrappiness. I like to see that technique and the work rate, the speed, the cardio.
Oh, so since we talking about speed, cardio, and fighters in lower weight class divisions, what's your prediction for Timothy Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao 2?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, we know how they're selling this fight. They sell every Manny Pacquiao fight the same way now. It's always about, oh, does Pacquiao still have it? It's like they always want you to think that he lost it, and then when he wins, they're like, oh, he still got it. And then, 4 months from now, when he fights again, it's gonna be the same deal. Pacquiao still got it. It's gonna be a good fight, but Pacquiao's gonna win.
Yeah, I think last time when that fight occurred, I saw a Timothy Bradley that didn't look like a Timothy Bradley. He had the excuses and, it was this, it was that, it was, this didn't happen. Um, for me, I think Bradley's going to end up winning this time. And the
See,
reason is, go ahead though.
no, I was gonna say you don't think Bradley's gonna win. You're just trying to play devil's advocate.
No, I said, first of all, I like Bradley a lot as a fighter, and I've been really impressed with what I've seen him doing his last few fights, I guess, especially against Ruslan Pervaklaka. I have trouble saying Russian people's names and any other race that's not American, even though Americans aren't their own race.
I didn't know Russian was a race either, but all right.
We're just gonna say it like their own race, okay? Any foreigner, I have a hard time saying their name for some odd reason. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Nonito Dornell. Why not? I mean,
All right.
he's had some trouble in his last few fights, but once he sat down and dipped on those punches, he had a really good time. He was able to do what he does best. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure This is gonna be an annoying match.
I mean, I'll agree with you there. Let me ask you something. Are we betting on the Pacquiao fight?
Are we betting on the Pacquiao fight? I'll tell you what. If you win, which I doubt, I don't
When
think.
I win,
You know,
when I
not
win.
I doubt. I mean, Pacquiao's a great fighter, and I think he's a good fighter. And he's not a good fighter. He's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. But I do think Bradley, he's done some good adjustments since the last time he fought Pacquiao, and I think he's much more prepared to deal with Pacquiao this time. I like the stiffness that I'm seeing in that jab. I'm hoping he won't sit there and try to trade with Pacquiao, because that'll be the wrong thing. If he could just use his, even though Pacquiao has speed too, I think if Bradley has the better timing, if he can do what he's supposed to do, which is be a counterpuncher, and let Pacquiao be the brawler this fight, I think he can pull it off. But I will buy you Need for Speed Undercover on Steam.
Oh.
All
right.
If Bradley loses.
All right. Well, I mean, I think a safe bet, and I'll tell you what I'm going to bet you in a second, but I think a safe bet will be that Manny Pacquiao's wife will be in the audience, and she's going to keep that streak going of being at ringside crying.
Oh my God. Well, yes, of course that's going to happen, but
All right, so
you're going with Bradley. You're going with Pacquiao, huh?
Yeah, I'm going with Pacquiao. Let me think about what I'm gonna wager here. Okay. I understand there's a little old grappling show coming to NYC. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. I understand you're interested in tickets. I think that underground game is going for pretty cheap now, but I will say this, I will reimburse you half the price of the ticket for that wrestling event if Pacquiao loses.
So I will get my $10. Same price.
Yep.
Everything's even here.
Yeah. All right.
So this ought to be an interesting night. Now, I didn't check Kevin. I think he's 126 though, so we're definitely at a disadvantage in terms of weight. But that's okay.
Now, by the way, don't screw me over. You know, when I win this bet, I don't want to see in my mailbox Need for Speed Pro Street.
God, he knew it was gonna happen. He knew it was gonna happen.
I'm just saying, if I see any surfboards on the cover, you're not gonna like me.
Anyway, so let's talk about this game plan here. Now, CeeLo is a good fighter. We saw that in the last stream. He's a sim fighter, and you know, when I first met CeeLo, man, he was an asshole. Let's be honest about this. He was chilling with Boxing IQ. Boxing IQ set up the fight for me, and you know, CeeLo was spamming. You know, CeeLo was just an asshole. And then there was a weight difference problem, and you know, I think he was supposed to use Canelo. I was supposed to use somebody else, and I can't exactly remember the entire fight, but I know he flash KO'd me, and he tried to run away with the win. And you know, ever since then, I was like, you know, CeeLo's not a guy I'm gonna want to talk to. He's not a guy I want to hang out with, or you know, play Fight Night against. And then, you know, he starts leaving some comments. He starts watching my videos. I see he changes his ways in terms of the way that he plays. And I was like, you know, CeeLo, he's a pretty cool guy. Let me fight him. And then we have this amazing match with Joe Frazier and Lennox Lewis. Regardless of the victor of that match, I like the style that he was able to bring to the fight. So this is why we're seeing CeeLo back here in the beginning of this live stream.
All right, now who was the guy who was playing you with Tyson in that last match you had on the final hour of the live stream last time?
And I was using Big George?
Yeah.
Now, that was just a random online ranked match. It wasn't anybody specific, but, you know, the fact you would pick Tyson against Foreman is like, come on, man.
Well, I mean, see, I don't think that's too much of a mismatch. I mean, like you said, that is a dream match people have always wanted to see. Again, we talk about the work rate. Tyson obviously has the work rate in terms of punching, and I think a lot of people would disagree with me, but I've heard you say it, and I agree with it. George Foreman might be the hardest hitter of all time. He's slower than Tyson, though, and he likes that range. He likes to push people out and then hit him with the straights, hit him with the combos. Whereas Tyson likes to get right up under a guy's chin and just go Muay Thai almost with the elbows and start, you know, Tyson like a little pit bull or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when it came down to the actual stylistic matchup, I don't think George Foreman would be able to handle Mike Tyson. just due to the fact that he's swarming him the whole time. I
Yeah.
mean, if Tyson was to lean into one of those big straight right hands, but we all know Tyson back in his prime had that really good defense. So I wouldn't say that he can't do it. I'm not saying he's not beatable, but that flash KO, it was the left
Oh,
hook,
yeah.
man. Clean, compact left hook. That's not a win in my book, though, man. That's definitely not a win.
Well, I mean, it's funny you're talking about Foreman Tyson and there's a flash KO because I think that while we said Tyson likes to get up close, if George Foreman could get that range, he could flash KO Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Foreman obviously has the better chin that Tyson does. The only person to ever knock out George Foreman was Mr. Muhammad Ali. Nobody else has ever been able to knock him out. I believe George Foreman only lost to Evander Holyfield and Muhammad Ali. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I think he came close to losing to Smoking Joe, but Joe was never able to actually beat Foreman.
Yeah, and the 3 fight series that those guys had, man, amazing fights. You know,
I,
even he
I mean,
knows it. Like, that's not cool, man. I heard those flash KOs.
I mean, it's kind of cool that they're in the game though, because that is part of boxing. That does happen.
Yeah, but I think it should only happen in friendly, not in online matches. I think it should only happen in like Fight Now, or even Legacy mode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me ask you something else, because I noticed that last week, the only reason you were using the smaller fighters was because I was telling you, let's see Oscar De La Hoya. You seem to gravitate towards some of those bigger fighters last week. We saw the matches with Lennox Lewis. Well, I kind of asked you to use Butterbean, but you went back and used them again on your own. I mean, you really enjoy using those power boxers where you got to watch the cardio and the work rate slower and they're kind of sluggish, as opposed to using a smaller, lightweight fighter.
Yeah, that's very true. For me, I like using fighters that not so much have power in them, but I like using fighters that are a bit slower.
Hmm.
Because if I was a fighter in real life, now I have pretty fast hands. I'm not a power puncher, but I pack a punch. So I'll be more like a boxer puncher, like Delvin Alexander or Sean Porter, or fighters of that caliber, even Timothy Bradley. I'll be a
Right.
fighter like that. But I
Oh,
would like to hit really, really hard. Like I can just knock somebody out with one punch. That would
well,
be a
I'm.
dream.
Well, I mean, you could be the smallest fighter in the world. If you catch a guy on the chin the right way, you can drop him.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, now let's get some plugs in because earlier this week we did a little commentary together. It's the first time in a long time we called that boxing match. It was, I know the people are excited we're bringing it up. It was Butterbean versus Isaac Frost. That video is actually available on Dave DeRiptone's channel. Let me ask you about this, and this will be a little preview for the podcast we did that'll be posted on Sakuraba 1982's channel on Saturday. Etiquette. Somebody picks Butterbean and then you ninja pick Isaac Frost. Tell the people at home if they are not onto this, what is wrong with that?
Well, see, there's a lot of debate on these topics, and for some odd reason, I can't seem to understand why there's so many debates on these things where it's clearly cheap. But people like to believe that it's okay to go ahead and pick fighters that are high overall and to do it slickly. Like if you're gonna straight up pick Frost, just let me see it before the fight. This way I
Right.
can go ahead and see if I can counter pick him or pick the same exact fighter, so it'll be a mirror match. But these guys, what they like to do is, they'll wait for you to pick your character, or they'll act like they're gonna pick such and such character, and then they will switch over real quick to Isaac Frost or Mike Tyson or a fighter of that caliber, Rocky Marciano.
Right.
Those are like the top 3 heavyweights and fighting
But
the
I'm
champion. Period.
but I
So
mean
the thing
it's
go ahead.
well, I was gonna say it's not even like somebody picked Marciano and then somebody ninja picked Isaac Frost. Somebody picked Butterbean. Butterbean and Areola are the two lowest ranked fighters on the game. I mean, Butterbean does have that power left hook, but I would say that Areola is a better fighter. He has better conditioning. So Butterbean, in my opinion, is the worst fighter on the game. And for someone to ready up with Butterbean, you could pick anybody and he's going to be better than Butterbean. Why you go to Isaac Frost is beyond me. And why when you win, if you can win, you celebrate like you actually achieved something.
You didn't achieve anything. Like this, I don't understand why people will find that even acceptable. And I've seen some people, they cheer things on like that. Like, you should have knew better than to pick him. Or why does he have no decency to pick somebody else?
Well, I mean, he's Butterbean's a fighter in the game. What do you? I mean, you should be able to pick him.
Yeah. And I felt like I looked in the comment section of the live stream, and people say why does guys get so superficial about you picking Butterbean? Like, is it scared of embarrassment? Like think about it. What would you do if you lost to Butterbean and you had a guy like Frost?
Okay, if I got a guy like Frost and I lose to Butterbean, I know one of two things happened. Either I just suck or Butterbean hit me, like I said, with that left hook and maybe got a flash knockout. Those are really the only two ways, and I granted, I did play the game, but I didn't give it enough time. But really, those are the only two ways that can go down.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. But you got to think about that on the other side. I would quit the game if I lost to a Butterbean using Isaac Frost.
Well, I mean, if it's a flash knockout, do you still quit?
No, because there's nothing I could have done about that.
Yeah.
But if I straight up lost to a Butterbean and I'm using Isaac Frost, yeah, just put the game back. Either that or watch 50 tutorials on how to play this game.
Well, I mean, another thing that we're gonna talk about in the live stream.
Beautiful right hook.
Oh, you got a match going?
Yeah, we got a match going up against Seal. He was able to drop us with a power right hook to the head, and we ended up, and then he finishes us off with the straight. But it was a good stun. It was a clean, effective shot. But like I said, most of the time, going into any match, I expect to get knocked down once. Slightly laggy here, but it's all good. Let's check out these comments to see if we got anybody in the comment section yet.
No, there's nobody in the comment section. They're all off playing, I don't know, Legos Indiana Jones or something. Anyway, if you're watching, get involved in the comment section. We want to hear what you have to say. Tomorrow night, can we expect a live Fight Friday?
Well, of course, we're gonna watch a live Fight Friday with a twist, though. You're gonna see something you don't normally see on this live Fight Friday.
All right, one of the boxers gonna have his shorts on sideways.
Oh my God! All I gotta do is put a dress on, and then we'll see something different. I can't understand why people wear the kniche. I can't do it.
What's his name? Melvin Manoff, one of the baddest KO dudes on the planet, fighting out of, I don't know, some spot in Europe. He's an MMA fighter. He wears that gladiator kilt, and let me tell you, you would not say that to his face because he's a bad man.
Oh no, I'll say behind maybe 20 bodybuilders.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a kind of cool, different look. I kind of dig the gladiator kilt. I don't know about the Jack Johnson tights, but I
can't tell you how many females I see walking around with that nowadays.
But with the tights or the kilt?
The tights.
Oh, well, I mean,
skirts anymore.
Well, I mean, I guess that's acceptable. But if you're coming into the ring, the tights with that little sash, tied around the waist. What's going on? We got I'm a Legend 215 in the chat room. What's up, dude?
What's good, homie? Welcome to the stream. It takes a minute for us to see your comment, so it's not like we didn't see it, but we're definitely looking at the comment section. So big shout out from me to you. Welcome to the stream. First viewer.
Right.
To leave a comment at least. Hopefully.
All right. And we got a bunch of people popping into the chat. Here's Afro877 in the house.
Oh, he finally caught the stream, man. What's up, Afro? I seen him in the comment section, man. That's the same guy who was talking about, asked about the Butterbean comment of people being scared to, to fight a Butterbean.
Okay. I mean, that's the funny. If you're scared to fight Butterbean on that game, you either need to go train or just turn the game off.
Double counter. Getting my signature power straight downstairs to the body, followed by the right uppercut. But yeah, he counted back nicely.
All right, now let me ask you a question. A lot of people have been talking about. We hear it on Sakuraba's channel. He asked me about it the other day. I know you're a boxing fan, but we might not get a boxing game from EA maybe for another year now that they've got that UFC game coming out on the next-gen consoles. You plan to get a PlayStation 4. I've heard you say it. Is that a game that you would get as a substitute, as a placeholder in the meantime while you wait for the next boxing game?
I'm not a UFC guy, to be honest, but I don't see why I couldn't try the game out and then see if it will teach me a little bit about the fighters, and maybe
Yeah.
UFC will be a thing I could get into, but I'm not exactly sure yet. Whenever I decide, I really haven't got a PlayStation 4 yet because there's been no new Fight Night games.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to anybody, but I haven't got a PlayStation 4 because there's not much on there, and I got a pretty nice computer now. And if I want to play a lot of those games, Watch Dogs or whatever, I can just pick that up on my PC.
I mean, I can understand that point.
I mean, you hear Fight Night over there stuffing his face. How are you talking, boxing, and eating at the same time?
Um, that's just what I do.
I mean, what are you playing
It's only
golf
one
back
last
there?
now.
Little putt, taking some shots into a Dixie cup on the other side of the room.
I mean, why not? If that's what you want to believe in magic is.
I think one night you've got to do somebody's got to do a stream. Not you. Somebody's got to do a stream where they take shots in between rounds, like shots of Jaeger.
Just like a drunk stream.
I actually did see a pro fight like that. It was in Europe somewhere. It was pretty recent. I'm gonna see if I can find that video. They took legit shots in between the rounds.
Well, go ahead and put that in the comment section. Let people in the comment section see it.
I
Do
don't
we
know.
have any new comments around here?
No, there's people just hanging out. Same people, Legend, Afro, just hanging out. They came in. They said, "What's up?"
Oh, that's good, man. I hope they stick around for the entire stream, though.
Yeah. Are you taking any requests tonight?
Definitely, always. Any type of fight style that you would like to see, just leave it in the comment section. We're doing OWC fights after this, so that's pretty much the most I can do.
All right. Well, that kind of seems like a crapshoot in terms of, are you going to get sim fighters? Are you going to get people who are going to come in and run and spam?
Yeah, that's gonna be the beauty thing of the stream. We can see what kind of fighters we're gonna get. I like to see in the comment section if people will predict, will this guy be a spammer or will he be a legit fighter?
See, that's the kind of cool thing about playing an MMA game, though. They can spam, but they can't really run, because if they try to run, you shoot in, you chase them, single leg, double leg. And in fact, if we both had that game, and I knew you weren't familiar with MMA, I wouldn't mind having a match with you where we agreed to just throw fists.
I mean, as an MMA fighter, I want to just be a striker, though. I'll be using all kinds of knees in that Muay Thai clinch.
All right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
monster counter right hand over the top.
I mean, once you learn the ground game and everything else, and I believe those UFC games will teach you in the tutorials kind of about MMA. I don't know that they're going to do, well, maybe, because EA MMA was the best MMA game so far when it came to actually breaking down MMA and training people who knew nothing about MMA, what the sport was about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, you probably could get an education there, and hopefully you would then take that education and watch good MMA and not so much UFC.
Yeah, that's something I'll definitely be looking into. I'm glad you're going to be around to the end, Legend. Don't be afraid to leave any comment and ask any question. More than glad to answer it. Make sure anybody who's watching the stream, once again, check out the boy Arachnid Soul. Always in the comment section, always in the description, always in the sub box of the FNF Nation, man. Make sure you check them out.
Well, and while we're doing plugs, every Thursday night on my channel, it's Thursday Night Throwdown. Thanks for messing me up, Fight Night. I'm trying to get a plug in.
Yeah, it was me.
I'm watching you get beat up on the stream and I can't focus.
I'm not getting beat up. I mean, he just hits harder.
I mean, I'm seeing your guy get powdered, cuts under the eye. I mean, this is brutal.
Hey, you can't say I'm not fighting a good fight, though. At least I'm
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're fighting a good fight. Anyway, Thursday Night Throwdown every week, every Thursday on my channel. Tonight, Yuji Nagata, Mitsuharu Misawa. It's a catchweight championship bout in the semifinals of the tournament. It's must-watch action. Anyway, back to the boxing. Fight Night, what's your strategy going into this fight right now?
Well, right now, just keep him away from me because he's doing all kinds of damage.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
I might need to switch orthodox because I'm getting pummeled in southpaw.
Yeah, I was a little bit behind you, but I see you hanging out in the corner there.
Well, he's the bigger, stronger fighter right now, so anything I try to do with Guerrero is probably not going to go well.
Well, I mean, Guerrero means warrior, so let's see if you can reach down and bring out that warrior spirit.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying I'm done. I feel like I still got a really good chance right now. Just might have to start working that body a bit more. I did get in some nice shots. Oh, I saw that coming too. That back step straight is going to connect with some lean power behind it.
All right, I'll see that in about 3 minutes. Anyway, you know what that corner man who says random shit all the time always says?
Well, he's not going to give me any good advice.
Well, you've heard him. When your back touches those ropes.
I don't got that guy on in the middle of the round. Like
I'm just saying.
He usually gets me beat up.
Yeah, but now if you said it'd be good advice.
Now he's telling me to move my head.
Okay, yeah, I got Afro in the comment section. He's saying he remembers getting UFC 10 and he had no idea what was going on in it and he really couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for certain sport games, you got to know about the sport in order to really get into it. Like, I wouldn't play basketball games if I didn't know anything about basketball. I wouldn't play Madden if I didn't know anything about football. Like, I probably know about more about football than I know about boxing. So,
I mean, I
like
will
me picking up FIFA.
Yeah, but the thing is though, and I would say, I think actually, I'm going to get hate for saying this. I think Pro Evolution Soccer has the better tutorial, or maybe at least did in years past. I don't know about the current incarnation of the game. Anyway, I think a lot of the time, if you pick up a sports game and you kind of sort of know enough about it, I play Gran Turismo 5 and I've never watched a NASCAR event in my life. But when I got to those NASCAR races, I'm thinking this would be the most boring goddamn thing I could ever watch in real life. But on the game,
like 20 times.
on the game, I don't know. I'm having a good time every round, every lap, trying to advance my position, trying to get in behind people in the stream, bumping people. It's like, all right, I would never watch this for 500 laps, but for the 3 laps on the game, this is enjoyable.
Wait, they do 500 laps in Daytona?
Yeah.
God, and you doing 500 laps? Does the driver get dizzy?
You can do, I believe on GT5, you can do 200 laps if you want to.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do it, but the option's there for you.
Oh, okay. Wow. What was the quickest fight you ever won? Okay, the quickest
We
fight
saw
I
that
ever
the other
won.
day.
It's actually a title defense match when I was the North American World Champion. I don't know how you can be the North American World Champion.
Yeah.
But on Fight Night, I was the North American Champion. I was lightweight. I was ranked about number 43 at that time. And I was a 90 overall. The guy was a 91 overall. His record was pretty solid. It was like 84 wins and like 7 losses. So he was a good fighter. Came into the match immediately and sidestepped him with a straight, and then I knocked him out with one punch, and that lasted like 3 seconds.
Damn. All right, so that was even faster than that flash knockout you had with De La Hoya a week ago Tuesday.
Yeah, that's that's probably my most satisfying fight on this game. I beat boxing IQ once, by literally 1 point.
Yeah.
So that was a nice win.
But I mean, that quick fight was your best experience on this game?
That quick fight was my most satisfying one.
All right.
What was my best fight experience?
Yeah, the best fights I've seen you in personally, and I don't know this was your best fight experience, but the best fights I've personally seen you in were against Chaos.
Yeah, those are really great fights. Like the simulation style, just being able to go back and forth, and knowing everything that's going down is pretty much how it would be in a real fight.
Right. I mean, that's what I'd like to see when I watch any type of sports video game. I like to see things go down in a way where there's true to life, psychology, and people are trying to use the sim style. I don't like to see kind of arcadey, I hate using that word, but kind of arcadey randomness and just sloppiness and no psychology in the sports games.
Yeah. I feel like if you're gonna play a sports game, it's usually because you're a fan of the sport or looking to get into the sport. So that's why I get so upset when I see people saying, you know, the sidestep uppercut is okay, and then they say, oh, I do it because Floyd does it. And then the only thing that's gonna be, it's supposed to be a topical commentary for God knows how long ago, but oh, nice counter. I'll get that right back though. It was supposed to be a commentary for last Wednesday and this Wednesday, but I didn't have enough time to sit down and make a video. But yeah, you know, that excuse is like, it just makes me ask you, have you ever watched a fucking Floyd Mayweather fight? Hold on, I was checking out the comments. Damn, how was your experience in sports CMM? Let me talk about this for a second. Sports CMN, getting into it was nerve-wracking. We're doing a good job, guys. We're coming back. Tied game, 66-66. But into sports CMM, getting in was nerve-wracking. I didn't really think I would get in. I didn't think I was good enough. I really worked hard in the video that I did to get in. And the first, you know, just trying to get in there and see how good I can do my video was, you know, it was just something I thought I could put together, but I was catching writer block at the time. Basically, you know, I was having trouble with creativity issues. I wasn't sure if, you know, I'll be good enough to get in. And then the video that I put together and trying to squeeze something into 4 minutes when I normally make like 14 to 10 minute plus commentaries, it was really hard for me to do that. And then I don't think it was my best commentary neither, but it really did teach me that I need to, one, work on my volumes, and also when I go to make a video, oh man, he caught us. That was a clean punch. It let me know that as a commentator, I don't have much work to do, but I can definitely hang with the best of them. Seeing how the tournament basically played, I think Kel hit him up is in the finals now. Oh, he was in the semifinals, and you know my commentary was better than his, but my volume was bad because I really had a bad time trying to create the video, and a lot of stuff went down that day. But you know, it was a bad week in general. But there was a lot I've learned. Is like, man, editing and video editing, how to edit your videos and everything else that I've seen from most people. I realized that as a commentator, I'm right in there with those guys.
Yeah, and one thing about the audio levels is I always say audio is more important than the video. I mean, people will watch a kind of fuzzy video if the audio's on point, but if that video's crisp and on point and the audio sounds like crap, they're done. If it's too low, if it's whatever. And one of the things you can do if you're editing a video on your laptop, because laptop speakers are kind of weird, they got them facing the wrong way, they're coming out the back, all sorts of things. If you have old like tower speakers that you can plug in while you're editing the video, you get a more true to real life sense of what people are going to hear when they're you know, listening to your footage on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely take that point in stride, and I've been trying to do that a lot more lately. I think I haven't had too many audio problems ever since, you know, Rack over here taught me how to use Audacity and clean files up and how to edit the video and whatnot. So I mean, I've learned quite a bit. And,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, really, maybe the only audio issue you had was last week when I had my Turtle Beach on, and so did Dave, and you started blasting that music, and now Dave and me are deaf, and we go to a special school.
So that's why you're having a hard time hearing.
What'd you say?
I said, wow.
Yeah. No, but anyway, going back to that sidestep uppercut, you know, people see Money Mayweather. I call him Money Junior when we hang out.
Wow. Okay.
And I pick up the tab because I got a little bit more dough than he does. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day. Right. But anyway, it's so funny that people would spam and use his style as an excuse because he's not a knockout artist, and he's not a spammer. He's seriously one of the most technically sound boxers you're ever going to see in your life.
Yeah, if you look at it, the dude throws so many combinations, and once he figures out something to work, yeah, sure, he'll keep using it until you change it. But people's like, oh, all Floyd does is throw it straight. But the truth behind it is he throws it straight, but he also puts a left hook behind that straight. And the only time he'll do it is when he can set you up for a clean counter. During the rest of the round, he's pressuring you. He's using that jab. That jab is in your face 24/7 when you're fighting Floyd. God, he uses left hooks and uppercuts, everything. He does so many things well. He can fight on the inside with you. He can fight on the outside with you. And then when I see people running track meets like this right now, what I'm doing, this is a track meet. That's a track meet. That's not boxing, man. When I see people doing that, I look at it and I say, God, you think that's a Floyd fight?
Yeah, I really don't understand it either. But I mean, if you're looking at just highlights, we always talk about the highlights and how detrimental they are to both MMA. Well, not all MMA, but UFC and boxing, these highlights where it's just knockouts and they never focus on the footwork or the technical aspect. God forbid they ever bring up the word conditioning or stamina or endurance. So people just see people getting knocked out, and that's what they always see. I guess maybe not from Money Jr., but I guess they feel they always see him knocking people out, and they think that's all he's about.
You're gonna realize Floyd hasn't had a knockout since the Victor Ortiz fight, and he
Yeah.
was headbutting that to help him do it. We're definitely far behind right now in the score. We're losing. I gotta go in for this. I'm pretty sure this is the last round. So I got 70% stamina. I gotta press the action here, and I gotta try to score this knockout.
Yeah.
I'll let Arachne talk to you on the meanwhile.
All right, so I'm guessing, I don't know, I thought we were gonna have a conversation, but he just kind of muted his mic. All right, so I'm guessing Fight Night's Finest pretty much feels that he ran a little bit too much in the last round. He thought the points were closer, so he thought he could run and stick and move, and he could win the fight that way. And when he just saw the scorecard, he realizes now going into the last round, maybe running wasn't the best idea. And he's got to, I didn't see the scorecard. I don't know if it's a matter of a difference in points that you can make up and around and overcome, or if you've got to look for that couple of drops and try to knock him out in this round, or what's going on.
Right now it's basically like I'm losing not because I'm running, but I'm having a hard time connecting. I'm getting hit with some hard shots. So we're just getting outboxed.
All right. Because I got to be real honest with you. This live stream is, it's pretty behind on YouTube. So I'm watching stuff way behind, and I'm not fully watching this fight. I'm kind of paying attention to talking to you on the headset. So, all right. Now, traditionally, if you're going to be doing this stream for maybe 2 hours, traditionally, whatever you do in 1 hour, the opposite happens in the second hour. So if you get knocked out now, I predict you'll have a very good second hour.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in these streams, man. I mean, going into OWC, it could be all bad around stream. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, how would you say CLO's doing here tonight? I mean, aside from the fact that he's winning, what do you think of the techniques he's using?
I like the combinations that I'm seeing. He's sidestepping to try to get those counters, but they're like a time sidestep for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's showing some really good technique here. He's doing well for what his fighter will allow him to do. I like to see some more jabs from him.
Now what happens on this game when you try to parry and bob and weave and use the head movement? Does that kind of... Because one of my experience with playing this game more so than playing some other striking games is the game kind of it's broken in a way, because when you do that, it's like your fighter gets disoriented or it takes up stamina or something's going on with that.
The head movement doesn't really work on here. You move, but it's like the punches are magnetic, so they'll follow you no matter where you move your head. Quick note before I get back to that point. Great fight to CeeLo. 42% landed for me, 36 for him. The difference was the power shots and the amount of counters. So while I was more accurate and I think I fought him better technically, he was a better counter puncher and power puncher than I was on this night, which is why I picked up the win. And, can't say nothing but good fight. I really enjoyed this one. So we're going to head over to OWC now. And to get back to your point about head movement, man, it just doesn't work. It drains your stamina a lot.
Right.
I've seen guys like Dave Ritwin and fighters of that caliber make head movement work to some degree, but it's just so broken. It's not like how it was on round 3, man. When you moved your head on round 3, you had to time those punches, because anywhere you went wrong and you ducked and you weaved that punch, you did a good job.
Well, I mean, I've also heard that in some of the old boxing games in the series, you were actually able to catch punches.
Yeah, even on Fight Night Champion, I heard you was able to parry punches, and it was good to counter spammers. But, you had the Cry Boys, which were the spammers at the time. who couldn't, continue. The casual player could not spam their moves, so they end up leaving. They went on the forums and started complaining and crying. And was like, "Daddy, wipe my nose, please." And they started crying about it. And EA, of course, wiped their nose. So that's pretty much how the parry system got taken out. And I think the stamina drain and a lot of different patches that came on this game was due to the fact of people complaining when the game was perfectly fine to most people in the begin with.
Oh, all right. I mean, I guess that was before my time. Yeah, a lot of the time people will complain about a game, and the developers of the game, instead of saying, well, it's a sports game and that's kind of true to life, they'll realize, well, if people are complaining about this game and they're going on forums and going on YouTube and they're talking to other people in the same sports community, that's going to hurt our sales. So we need to kind of cater to those people who are complaining and griping about these quote unquote exploits that are actually a legit part of the sport. And then the game gets quote unquote fixed, and that's kind of what happens. And then you're stuck with what you're talking about now.
Yeah, pretty much that's how it goes down. Laquan the God, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Fight night round 2 was the best fight night. I'm gonna disagree with you. I haven't played round 2, so I can't really make a judgment based on it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I accepted that. Round 3 is the best fight night to me, and the reason behind that wasn't because of the character stats, and it wasn't because of the Joe Tessitore being the only announcer there. I think that actually hurt the game. But the thing about round 3 that I like was everything was true to a boxer, besides the exaggerated parry. The defense system was the best it's ever been. You can block up and down in order to block most of your punches. And what is your favorite fight night and what's your favorite combo to use? Okay, hold on. I'm explaining my favorite fight night right now. The defense system was the best that it's ever been, where you can block up and down. It had the round 4 up and down blocking, but then if you was able to predict what your opponent was going to throw at you, or if you knew what was coming, you had that parry ability to go over and shift between different sides in order to catch a counter. And I think if you just limit the time of the counter, even though some fighters were still able to get away from it, you can't beat that. I like the way that she was able to draw the punches out with the hooks and the uppercuts and the straights and the rips. I think if you added rips on there, it would have made the game even better. Like tell people how to do overhands. You can do the signature punch, which was really dope to add towards the game. And Fight Night Round 3, it just really requires skill and a good knowledge of boxing in order to be successful on it. So that's the main reason why I like Fight Night Round 3. My favorite punch combination is the jab with the left hand, right uppercut underneath, and then a left hook, overhand left hook over the top.
I actually think I saw you knock somebody out with that overhand right on the last stream.
Was it the overhand right?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I like the overhand right too, man.
It might have been that combo, ending with the overhand right. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. All right. Anyway, people, thank you for joining us in the chat room. If you have any more questions or you have any requests for Fight Night, if you want to tell them which boxers you want to see, if you want to tell them which style you want to see them use in the ring, please leave that in the chat room.
Y'all don't got no questions for my boy Arachnid, though? God, it's racist in the stream.
Yeah, I know. Just because I'm, what am I, Chinese?
You're Asian.
German? Whatever I am, Martian. Just because, I mean, yeah, I've got green skin. I wear a silver jumpsuit and a cape, and I have a little ray gun.
What are you playing, Black Ops 1?
All right. I don't know, man. I don't mess with any of those Call of Duties.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on. Let me just answer this question real quick. Will I be getting EA UFC? It's a question mark right now. I'm not exactly sure. But
I think you'll get it.
What about you, Arachnid?
I'm such a big MMA fan. It's not even funny. And the thing is, when you say MMA fan, people think you mean that you're a UFC fan. I get the same thing when I say I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. They say, "Oh, you watch WWE?" I tell them I haven't watched that in 10 years. I would never watch that, and I don't like UFC either. Rings, Pancrase, Pride. There have been so many organizations over the years. UWFI, Dream. Dream was my favorite one of all time. Dream was like a generic Pride, but I loved it. Unfortunately, you don't get a lot of MMA games, so I did go out and I did get UFC 3, and I was like, Okay, I got it because it had Pride mode in there, even though Pride mode was kind of an afterthought. I imagine if I did have a next gen console, I would get that game purely because, as far as things go right now, it's the only MMA game that's coming out, and it's the only MMA game that's coming out on a next gen console.
Okay, well, there you guys have it. Mr. Arachne will be getting it. I'm still a question mark. I really don't want to pick up a next gen console until I hear another Fight Night announced.
All right. So, yeah, Legend's asking me who my favorite UFC fighter is. I have to be honest with you. I don't really know who's in UFC right now. I remember back in the day watching Polar Bear. He was never a favorite, or Tank Abbott. These big guys, they were knockout guys and they were sloppy, but they were fun to watch. You had technical guys. People don't remember how awesome Dan the Beast Severn was. A lot of people don't respect Ken Shamrock because he's decided to fight until the age of 412. You know, a lot of people don't respect a guy like Chuck Liddell. People think he was just a brawler and he sucked. That guy could wrestle. I mean, there were so many guys back in the old UFC. And when I think about my favorite MMA fighters, I mean, we're talking Japanese guys. We're talking Kawajiri. We're talking obviously, Mr. Pro Wrestling, Mr. Shoot Fighting, Mr. MMA, a man who's the Gracie Hunter, Kazushi Sakuraba, and probably my favorite MMA fighter who's fully active, still in the sport, in the world, pound for pound, in my opinion, the best fighter in any sport on the planet, Toby Khan Judon Shinya Aoki.
Okay, okay. You got a lot of fighters there that I didn't even know of. Before I let you explain all this, guys, we got an OWC lightweight match. I'm 130. He's 126. He has that 80-inch reach. Do you think this guy is a spammer? Before, you gotta leave a comment at this point. You must leave a comment. I'm acting nicely, but leave a comment. Do you think he's a spammer or not? And then we'll see what turns out in the actual match.
All right. So now I'm being asked if I think, what do I think about Bruce Lee being in the MMA game, or let's see, being named the father of MMA? Okay, I think that's garbage. I haven't actually heard that. As far as him being in the UFC game, if you ever go to a UFC event, if you're a purist fan, you have to sit next to some people who are uneducated and will start booing the second the action goes to the ground because all they've seen in the hype videos and the vignettes and the promotional stuff and the commercials is boxing in a cage. So when you have Bruce Lee in a game, you're now going to take those fans who you might sit next to who aren't too educated about the sport, and you're now going to be fighting them on the console. At the same time, that's kind of awesome that Bruce Lee's in the game. I would not say that Bruce Lee is the father of MMA. If anything, when I think of the very first massive MMA fight, it would have to be that fight between boxer versus wrestler Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay himself, taking on one of the biggest names, probably the biggest name ever in Japanese wrestling, Antonio Inoki. And you guys are getting an education tonight.
Yeah, just start opening up the textbooks and start copying. Like the man knows his MMA. I will say to CeeLo 199 or 999. I forgot exactly how the PSN numbers are, but great fight to him. I saw your comment. I didn't forget about it. But let's talk about this guy right here. I feel kind of bad because I remember back in my OWC days, man. The only thing I will look to do is, I gotta defend myself from these spammers. So I put the Philly shell block on, and this dude has textbook block. So I feel kind of bad.
All right. We've got I Am Legend 215 and Afro 877. Both of them feel that this guy's not going to be a spammer, despite the fact that he has an 80-inch reach.
Yeah, he's getting that sidestep uppercut in, but I wouldn't say he's a spammer neither so far. But I mean, it's only the first round. I've seen some guys turn straight to spamming once they start losing. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
I mean, and the truth of the matter is a lot of people buy this game, they go through legacy mode, and then they say, okay, that was kind of my training. Now I'm going to go fight online. And just when they design a fighter, it's not about spamming. They just figure, well, yeah, it does make sense that the guy with the 80-inch reach might be a little bit better. And they pick that guy, and they have no intention of spamming with him.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, this guy's a runner for sure. Let's see what we do here. God, it's been such a long time since I played lightweight, and I saw what happened when I came back to OWC.
Yeah.
And that did not turn out well.
I mean, is it the work rate that throws you off, or is it the fact that when you connect with a punch, it doesn't have the same amount of damage?
Um, it's not it has nothing to do with the damage per se. It's the defensive and the how they fight. It's just basically everything is either a sidestep or everything is an exploit for the most
Right.
part in OWC. That's for the most part. I'm not saying everybody's like that. Good counter sidestep right uppercut, but you know, this is the difference between timing a counter punch and knowing that you're gonna get a counter punch. He's just step spamming. Like the only thing he looks to do is throw a side step uppercut almost every other punch. And the reason he's doing that is one to try to change the angle, and two just to get that cheap counter from whenever it is that I start throwing. So the question is, how would I counter that? How would I deal with a guy like this who's only gonna look to throw that side step, get that side step uppercut in? And the thing is that you gotta stay at range and land the first shot and not chase this guy. I'm chasing him right now because I want to see if I can make him gas himself. But
Right.
lightweight does have, you know, that compensation. God, man, like I think y'all were wrong for real.
You're
Like,
feeling it now?
yeah, I'm starting to see it.
All right, looks like we got the boy Dave the Ripped One in the comment section.
Man, you're more than welcome to join us in the call, man, and talk to the people. Tell them a little bit about your channel. Tell them a little bit about the Rip One. That's if you want to join. If you just want to stay in the chat and just chill, he's in the description. Don't miss him. Don't miss out that commentary me interacting is so did on his channel. He will be on our future podcasts as well. Dave the Rip One, Dave the motherfucking Rip One, man. Check his channel out, or you know I will see that you get put to your grave.
All right, so we're being asked here in the comment section by I Am Legend. What do you think EA needs to do to make Fight Night and UFC better? Why don't you take Fight Night and I'll take UFC?
Well, in order to make Fight Night better, you gotta work on the game mechanics. For the most part, like if I throw this jab, that right hand needs to stay by my chin, because that's how a real boxer would throw that punch. There's just the little visual things that they can do in order to make the game look better and also feel better. Head movement needs to be a part of boxing. It's a huge part of boxing. Don't sell the game towards the casual fans. Most of the time, whenever you see them selling this game is knockouts, and they're trying to sell it to guys who's looking for knockouts when boxing is more of an elegant sport but could be exactly brutal, like you see with most fighters like Marciano, Tyson, Shavers, Razor Rudolph, Holyfield, Big George Foreman, fighters of that caliber who, you know, they look for a knockout, they look like they was exciting, or Arturo Gotti Ward, fighters like that. But that's the main selling point, is to sell it to guys who know the history of fighting, like me. You know, who else in the community really knows a lot about boxing? My boy Perfected Chaos knows a lot about boxing. Relapse knows quite a bit about the new era of boxing. David Ritwin knows a bit about boxing. A game should be sold towards them. In terms of footwork, each fighter, based on their type, needs to have set foot patterns, set footwork patterns. You don't see an inside fighter, you know, dazzling and moving around the ring like Muhammad Ali would. You just don't see that. But what you would see is a fighter like Mike Tyson being able to bob and weave and move his way onto the inside, cut off the ring. And you know, certain fighters and certain fighter types should have footwork that pacificize, whatever the word is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That works to how their footwork would be in real life. This way it will prevent a lot of running. An outside fighter trying to move forward won't be as comfortable moving forward as an inside fighter trying to move forward. The jab needs to have more of an effect. Like if I go to jab somebody and that head snaps back, there's not a good chance that their next punch is going to land. There's a lot of fighters out there like, you know, Willie Pep, Paulie Malignaggi, who lives by that jab and you know, relies on that jab in order to do the greater good for them, and they don't have a lot of punching power. So I feel like the jab on this game doesn't really have much effect. I mean, it could be annoying, but in terms of the effect that it has, yeah, not really good. Punches should not be magnetic. If I throw to the head in a specific spot, my punch should go there. Add more fighters to the game, and I'm not talking about always modern era fighters. There's a lot of old school guys that should be in the game that's not in the game. Make ratings not so much a part of the game, but I think it should just be based on styles. And this way people won't know which characters would be the best to go ahead and pick. It'll be based on how you fight with a counterpuncher, and if you can out counterpunch an inside fighter and, you know, stop him from doing what he does well in order to make the game better. I mean, there's a long list. I don't want to bore you guys with this, but yeah.
Right. I mean, well, and another thing that I would add that I don't think you mentioned is the fact that you're not rewarded in terms of the judging point system at all in Fight Night Champion for
Ah,
playing defense.
yeah, you're not. Quick note to Dave the Rip one. Yeah, you damn right it's that serious, man. These people better subscribe. We're losing
Yeah.
this fight though. I need to turn up right now because I'm tired of this dude with his side steps and his spam and this, that, and the third. Let me know in the comment section why Arachne is explaining what he's explaining. If you guys think this guy's spamming, because I'm seeing a lot of straights and side step uppercuts, even though he's mixing some things in.
Yeah. Well, why don't you turn it up to 3,000 and check your email? Anyway,
Uh,
let me talk about what the problem with the UFC game is. The problem with the UFC game, and I knew this even before I got the game just from talking to people who would brag about their knockouts. If you play FIFA or if you play Pro Evolution Soccer and you've watched soccer or football as they call it in most places around the world, you know that it's not common for a game to have 15 or 20 goals in it, and they figured out how to balance the game that right way. Yet
wow.
when I play, what happened?
Wow. Those one punch knockouts. Every time I get on OWC, it's a one punch knockout. Every single time.
Well, it's that 1 hour curse. You'll be good. Don't I mean we're hitting hour number 2 right now,
Yeah,
so
I know, but it's like, come on, man. Look at this guy right here. He had nothing. 113 sidestep left uppercuts, and then that
jeez.
straight right hand was 53, and then he had like 48 on his left hook and 31 on his right hook. But it's like, why does he have to
Yeah.
spam so hard?
But yeah, like I was saying, I think a big problem with the UFC games is that the way goals are balanced in soccer, knockouts are not balanced in UFC. I mean, is that really how UFC is, or MMA at all? Does it always end in the first 2 minutes with a knockout? I mean, how many times do you not even get out of the first round? That's just some basic stuff. Another thing that I would do to fix that game is I would make it more true to what UFC actually is in its rule set and less true to what it is in the hype videos. It feels, even though the grappling and stuff looks really great, it still kind of feels kind of arcadey to me. I want that real sim experience with an MMA game. Unfortunately, UFC's got the money. They've got the quote unquote quote prestige, even though I don't see them having the prestige of like a Dream or a K1 or a Pride. But they're going to keep putting that out there because they know people buy it and they know they're the only ones selling it. But I mean, the laundry list of things to fix the UFC game could go on and on. But I will say this, it probably will be a very enjoyable game if you're not a full MMA fan, you're just a UFC fan.
Well, I fought this guy like 20 times over. DP top shorty, and he probably knows it too. But yeah, I assumed he wasn't gonna fight me. Saw that one coming. Had an OWC title match, and the last few times I fought him, he's lost. So I can see why he won't fight.
All right. Well, I mean, that's how you get better. You actually benefit now and then from getting your ass kicked.
See, I feel like as a OWC fighter, the way that they could have made Fight Night Champion better in terms of the online belt system, if a champion comes across a match like that, he should get like 1 or 2 ducks, and then he can't duck anymore.
Yeah.
Whoever you come up next, you fight them and stop being a pussy.
He's a he's one of those we're talking about UFC, one of those Brock Lesnar style champions who just ducks people. Well, my stomach hurts. I can't defend the belt. Oh, I stubbed my toe. Oh, his Sable looked kind of hot and I didn't want to leave the apartment.
Yeah, that's that pussy shit. I can't stand that, man. Like, what are you ducking for?
Well, I mean, he didn't want to lose his belt, and damn sure doesn't want to lose it live on the internet.
Yeah, I guess not. Now he probably won't come back looking for a lightweight match, but that's usually how it goes. Either that, unless if he went to go put his fight at 90 and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate that so much. Like, people just like they're just scared.
Yeah.
Like, if you got the belt and you win it, have the decency to fight anybody else who challenges you, because it's hard to get a title shot on here. And I heard somebody
Mm-hmm.
talking about this in the comment section the other day about, how do I get a title shot? Well, you don't get title shots on here anymore.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's say a guy, because I don't know, let's say a guy on here wins a championship. Is there a set amount of time he can go without defending the belt before the belt gets stripped off him?
I believe it's 72 hours. I thought it
Okay,
was fights in 72 hours.
God, yeah, that's a little bit overkill.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, Dave's got it right, paper champion.
yeah.
Like Brutus Magnus, you got to defend that belt. Let Joe get a fair shot.
Straight fuck boy.
All right, so what? You're just looking for an OWC fight against anybody in that weight class?
Yeah, but it's not gonna look like it's gonna happen. So we're gonna head over to the where the Spam Fest is in OWC, head to head. So let's see what happens.
Well, I mean, you don't have anybody on your friends list that might want to take you on?
In OWC, that's not possible. I mean, I could do the belt, I could do the glitch lobby, but I want to do that, especially
I
in
mean,
the stream.
I would say chaos, but I was talking to him earlier this week, and I have it on good authority that he has retired from the ranks of FNC. Maybe someday digitally he'll come back, but I think he's pretty done with the game.
God, man, that sucks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's a very interesting story, and I would love to share it with the live stream. But I think you're gonna have to talk to Chaos or get him on the stream because nobody would tell the story better than him. He didn't just.
Yeah, he sent me some few stuff on Facebook too, man.
Okay, yeah. He didn't just go out. He went out with the bang.
Yeah, those guys is just ridiculous, man, with the spamming and everything. I can understand why a lot of new people, and especially a guy like Chaos, who most of the time all he did was just play legacy mode. You come back to online matches and then you get spammed to death. Who wants to deal with that?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I guess there's some trophy you get for winning, or I think you have to win. Maybe you just have to play 100 online matches.
They
So
said
he,
6 times every 36 hours. Well, excuse the hell out of me.
jeez. So that's your whole life.
Yeah, I
You,
can't do this 36 hours within 36 hours.
so you pretty much have to, you would have to decide between this and League of Legends.
That's a
Because
hard
you
choice.
can't do both. But yeah, Chaos was trying to get the trophy for having 100 fights, and he's playing through it. I mean, I guess he's kind of enjoying it less and less as it goes on. The spamming and the cheapness, and people who know they're getting knocked out, instead of just getting knocked out and staying down, they drop out and disconnect. Finally, Chaos gets to 100 matches. The trophy's supposed to pop. It doesn't pop. He keeps going. He gets to 105, no trophy. He gets to 110, no trophy. Finally, he's not having a good time. The trophy's not popping, and he was like, I think he hit a diamond cutter, I believe, on the game disc, and that was it.
Dang, Diamond Cutter?
Oh yeah, came off the top through the little Rockefeller sign up and everything.
Look at this guy right here. So this is how George Foreman fought, huh?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see this thing load. What's the fight you got coming up?
It's a George Foreman in heavyweight versus my fighter right here.
All right. All right. So now you get to take on George Foreman. We saw how you played with him on the last stream. Let's see how you play against him on this stream.
And he seems like he's getting some nice, he's mixing some nice combos there.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's
Now,
a
when
time counter. We saw that coming. Not this crap right here. That's spamming. I hate when I see people doing that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about spamming with George Foreman, though, he's not the fastest when it comes to throwing punches, but his punches are so powerful that a spam combo from George Foreman will drop you.
Yeah. Well, let's see if he can drop anybody here as he gets hit with that counter left hook over the top. Ooh, some slick defense right there. Let's see, I think Dave might want to be added to the call here. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Ooh.
All right.
I'll check in between rounds.
What did you call? No, I called you. So, Dave, if you want to be added, just let me know on Skype and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I think. What the heck? Ooh.
Yeah, by the way, once again, just I guess we're plugging it in hour number 2 like they used to do. Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan, hour number 1. It's hour number 2. We've got Mike Tanay, and we've also got the living legend Larry Zbyszko. We got to plug the same stuff. It's on Dave the Ripped One's YouTube channel, Butterbean versus Isaac Frost. It was a match that Fight Night's Finest and I called a couple of days ago. It's one of those kind of David and Goliath type bouts, and it's worth checking out. It's a good fight and good commentary, and it's getting a lot of positive feedback. Once again, that's on Dave the Ripped One's YouTube channel.
Yeah, put that link in the description for them, man. They can check that out after this, or step out the live stream and then come back.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Dave, hit me up. Let me know if you want to come in, if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm seeing what happened to everybody, man. I miss your comments, man.
I don't know. I guess they came to see the champ, and when he left, they're like, "Ah, screw this."
Right?
That was a fight
this guy get, spam your straight right hands.
That was a fight that was promoted on the card. Let me see here. I'm gonna call Dave, and if he answers, he answers. If not, then I guess he doesn't.
I don't even see him on online.
Oh yeah, he's not even on. Okay, I don't even. Oh, okay.
Oh well, don't worry about it.
Yeah, nah.
What we need to worry about is why this guy's throwing so many straight right hands. Like, it's beyond the point where it's ridiculous now. You're tripling up that straight. I've never seen Big George throw like 3 straights in a row.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why he's throwing them. Even though George wouldn't do that in real life. I mean, you got George Foreman. You know how Foreman... I mean, while he wouldn't throw 3 power straights, it is his style to kind of get that separation and then throw those power shots.
Yeah, but he didn't do it like this guy. This
no.
isn't even separation. This is just cheese. That's why I talked about, y'all. You see some guy, it looks like he's going to do the right thing, and then here it comes.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to win.
Well, I mean, that's the name of the game. You better plug in that controller, too. Before that controller goes dead and you get dropped. Had it happen.
Well, you get dropped most of the time.
No, I was...
the mummy. Well, you already know, Afro. He's got to do what he's got to do.
I was playing, what was it? Gran Turismo 5 with Kaze. We were having a good race. And we're neck and neck. All of a sudden, on a turn, I just go straight, and he's like, "What happened?" My fucking controller went dead.
I hate that. So, you try to throw a jab in the beginning of this round, gets sidestepped and gets hit with a beautiful hook. So I guess he's gonna go back to using that straight now.
Yeah, I mean, you're really giving up a lot of size in this thing.
Well, that's usually how most heavyweight matches go. 5'10" with a 76-inch reach.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I see George is kind of... It's not a pretty style. It's kind of, let me throw 3... It's not even combos. It's 3 of the same punches to the head and then maybe 3 of the same to the body.
Well, of course. You got to do whatever you can do, right? I'm start hitting my favorite count on him now.
Oh, well, he's covering up now. You got him on the ropes.
Don't be giving the people false information. We in the center of the ring right now. You watching the stream?
Okay, I'm a minute behind, but okay. Well, I mean, when you get to the ropes,
man, some work now. We're gonna hit that counter punching style on him real quick.
When you get to the ropes, keep him on the ropes for 2 or 3 minutes so my commentary's accurate.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I'm trying to call psychic commentary here.
You don't call anything, man. The people watching and enjoying, give them something else to talk about, man.
All right. Well, why don't we talk about, some of the stuff we talked about in the podcast? And all right.
Yeah. So what? Based on the spam you're seeing with this guy, what level inch of an E penis does he have?
All right. Before we get to that, we got a question. Should Mayweather Jr. be in the next fight night?
I think he should be in the next fight night, but I think he should be one of those fighters. Like I said, this game needs to be technically based in terms of skill. And this way, when people go to pick Floyd and they see they can't fight with Floyd, he won't be picked as much. Because the technical aspect, he should definitely be there. I think he should be the guy, selling the game. Mm-hmm. Probably have like him and Canelo, because those are like the big guys that you're going to get in terms of boxing. A lot of the Mexican fans are most of the people that carry boxing nowadays anyway.
Yeah.
So get him and Canelo maybe on the cover of it and have that. I think he could be in the game for sure. No doubt about it. Just make him really hard to use. This way the people who want to really use him will take the time out to learn him. And the people who can't play the game well, they'll be like that team in Madden who always picks the 49ers or the Seahawks.
Right. I mean, nothing. There's nothing wrong with the 49ers.
Well, of course you're gonna say that.
What were you trying to say? I know you're all anti-West Coast, but I mean,
I say the 49ers can't beat the Giants. That's all I'm gonna say.
all right. Well, I mean, maybe we can look back and see who's won the most Super Bowls over the past 20 years.
Yes.
You know, we could talk about the Dallas Cowboys too.
Oh my God! Don't you dare mention them on this stream. I'll kick you off the Skype.
I'm just listen, man. You know, I'm from a place we don't have any major sports teams, so we just grab whoever
But
we
you're
like.
originally from New York. You can't even begin to talk about Dallas.
Yeah, but I mean, those teams out there, man, I can't do it. I know you like to go down to that dirty stadium on Coney Island and watch the Cyclones play, but I can't do it.
Oh, God.
I know you like to put that.
About New York, I'm kicking you off this.
I know you like to go get Nathan's hot dogs and look at the woman with the bearded lady juggle the hoops on fire with the little poodles and the chainsaws, but
Arachnid plus.
anyway, okay, so what we're talking about before, some people they don't quite measure up online. You know what I'm talking about. It's the new phrase that's gonna sweep the internet.
Not even the
No,
globe.
it's gonna sweep all the internets. It's not gonna go viral. It's gonna go intergalactic. We're talking about these people. And why don't you go ahead and describe to them what I'm talking about?
I'm in the middle of the fight. You tell them about the
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I was on that podcast, which will air Saturday on Sakuraba's channel. I'm still a little confused. We're talking about people with what we're calling them as edicts. And I didn't quite figure out if you know, in real life, if you say someone's a dick, it means they're a mean, bad person. So if you say someone's a big dick, that's an insult. But somehow with the edicts, you want to have the big edict, which I thought so I'm confused. But once we get it figured out, I'm sure you'll hear more about it.
But I'm saying, like, the edict, if you think about it, they should be really, really small, which is the reason why they're so mad.
Right.
Like, they will really be upset because they don't have the size to compete with someone. You should have a long edict if you can just manage to keep yourself calm in an online ranked match. But if you're upset, you know, you're always raving and ramping about why this is happening, or you know, this shouldn't be happening to me, then you know you're mad because it's small. Your temperament is small for the game. You do everything that you possibly can to win, so you have no class. And that's the main reason you're upset. So I think it's because it's small, man. That's the real reason.
Well, I mean, I guess there's going to be a lot of interpretations of it, but my interpretation was a guy who, for example, fights a Butterbean. They know they're fighting Butterbean. I'm not going to go over Butterbean again, but they pick Isaac Frost, and they're trying to compensate for something, and I say they're trying to compensate for the small edict, you know? You see me on Gran Turismo. You know I picked the old VW bug. Everybody in the lobby's got the VW bug. You're going to come in with the Lamborghini Aventador or the Bugatti Veyron Supersport, and to me, you're trying to compensate. To me, that means you got a small edict.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're coming in, weighing in at 0.5 grams. 2
All right.
inches long.
All right, so we're getting another thing here from Laquan the God. And he's saying, you know, Mayweather Jr. wants to be in the game, but they're going to have to pretty much name the game after him.
Wait, Floyd Mayweather boxing?
Yeah.
That's OD. Like, Mayweather's he's a piece of work, man. Like, what do you think? This is Don King boxing, or, you know, what are we going to call it? Vince McMahon wrestling or something? Like, do you see how cocky that sounds, Floyd?
Well, I mean, I just
watch this stream. You get to this part. Do you know how cocky you sound?
Well, it might be like
game named after you. You know John Madden. Like,
it might be like might be like Floyd Mayweather Jr. boxing or knockout. You remember when Mike Tyson had that game and he was the fighter you picked? Maybe he's the only fighter you can pick. There's no online mode. And you don't even fight a full schedule. Maybe you just fight like once every 8 months.
Like seriously, that's so cocky. Like, especially with your reputation outside the league, outside of the boxing. You know, your gambling habits, your trouble with women, staying in prison, running your mouth, you know, things like that. Like, I like Floyd as a fighter, but as a person, you need to get yourself together, man.
Well, I
I
mean,
like the whole demeanor of, if I earned it, I should be able to say what I want. But then there's being able to say what you want, and then there's being a jerk. He's a jerk.
maybe that could all be part of the game though, because he doesn't
Floyd
fight that
being a jerk.
much. No, well,
And
yeah,
think about it, he hates to lose. So why would you want to see yourself losing on the game that you created? Would you
I
want to give
mean,
yourself a 90 overall or 99 overall?
but I'm saying if you're boxing once every 6, 7 months, you fill the time with the gambling. Maybe he gets into some altercations with women. Maybe there's like, like it almost goes into like an RPG. He goes to prison for something. You got to survive. There's like don't drop the soap mode, they could call it. There's little things they could add in the game.
Oh, did you hear about? I don't have my Fiji water. The tap
Yeah.
water making me sick. Boy, the only thing I'm thinking about this George Foreman is, man, this guy is garbage. I've never seen George with such great footwork.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It looks like George has been eating off one of those real grills.
Right? I mean, I'll say body type. Even then, he doesn't fit how big George looked, because George had that beer gut when he came back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, George's face looks really young too. I was noticing that before the fight.
Yeah, like, you sure he looked like this when he was 20? I could have
No.
sworn he had an afro on the stash, but
Yeah, he had facial hair.
Tight, he was tight brolic too.
It's like if you took George Foreman's body when he was young, not younger, but that in between stage, and you put his current head on him and gave him Botox, that's what he would look like.
Just look at the nose. And if you look carefully towards that, y'all, it looked like he had mad snot coming out his nose at the same time. So it's like, I don't know what this guy's over here doing.
Hey, that might have been Vaseline.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I mean,
and the next fight night, man, they need to add that too. I missed the corner, man. Like, let me do all that. Let me put some Vaseline on the guy's face. Let me wipe the cut. Let me get the Q-tip and dig up in that snot-infested nose. If it gets real gory, so like I seen some fighters where the skin actually falls off the eye where it's cut at. Like, let's make it really gory. Let's make it accurate.
Yeah, I saw a match where that happened to Rob Van Dam, and he had to finish the match with his whole eyelid hanging off. He almost ripped it off because he didn't know what it was.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool little things they could bring back. I guess they thought maybe it'd be better if instead you spent 30 seconds in your corner and then 30 seconds for some reason listening to the other corner.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the like. I feel like if you're in a boxing match, why would I want to hear what the other guy is telling him? Like, yeah, for presentation, if you're watching a match, put the spectator mode like that, where you can switch to the different corners and hear the advice that they're giving to them. But it's like, why would you have an entire mode dedicated to where it's like, yeah, you're watching a broadcast, but at the same time you're fighting?
Yeah, I saw. Well, and the other problem is it really is just kind of random stuff they're saying.
Yeah, for the most part. And like, round 3 was perfect with the advice, man. As we continue to see this guy run and jog his way around the ring.
I mean, when I first got Fight Night Champion, I was playing Legacy mode. I didn't realize right away that the stuff that they were saying, the cornermen, it was A, repetitive, and B, just random. So at first, I'm like, okay, this is cool, because I'm used to playing the EA MMA game, and they would actually give you good advice. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm new to this game. I get some coaching. And then I started hearing him tell me to double up on the jabs when I had been doing that, or to keep my back off the ropes when I fought the whole fight inside. Like, what?
What kind of advice is that, Dad?
And then I start seeing, like, I have different trainers in different matches, but they all read off the same cue card, so I hear different voices tell me the exact same thing.
Okay, guys, so before you continue that pointer racking, we just took a look at the scorecards. I'm winning 6 rounds to 1. The question is, does this guy have the heart of a warrior to try to knock me out? Or will he be one of those type of fighters who will continue to run even though they're losing the fight? Let's find out here.
All right. What you're saying is, do you think he's gonna start trying to come up short all of a sudden?
Yeah, he needs to get chase after me now, because I got the fight won so far.
I mean, he was chasing after you in the beginning, and he was spamming the straights and spamming hooks to the body. I mean, It's not like he's got what it takes to really hang with you. I mean, he's got two modes. He can either spam, which didn't work for him points wise, or he can back out and maybe try to get a flash knockout.
I mean, there's a lot that he can do here, but the question was, will he do the right thing? It looks
Well,
like he's
I'm
gonna do the right thing though so far for how this round is going.
all right. I mean, usually if we're in round number 6 and a guy's fighting like this, I just assume we've seen everything that he's able to bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, but some fighters are special.
Mm. Yeah, I see him connecting with some stuff about 2 minutes ago.
I'm gonna play defense, man. I'm gonna take this fight slow now. I had a really high-paced fight, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you might as well play defense. I'm not saying run, but you might as well cover up. You got the points.
No, we're not gonna pull no Oscar De La Hoya against Tito Trinidad. Was it Trinidad? Was it Tito Trinidad? It was
I don't remember.
Trinidad. Just know that. I think it was Felix. I'm pretty sure it was Felix.
Well, yes. I mean,
let
you?
me know in the comment section, y'all. Was it Felix or was it Tito? Because I'm pretty sure it was Felix.
Are you now going to switch to more defensive style and also wait for him to throw some of those power shots and just become a counter striker?
Yeah, I should do that. I mean, why not? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense at this point.
I don't feel like trying to knock him out anyway. And then he's just going to run, so it's like...
Yeah. I mean, that's Big George anyway, so, I mean, you try to knock him out, you might put yourself in danger there. You got him. I mean, you can still have a nice work rate and play defense and counter strike. See, this is exactly what I was talking about, where I said the judges should give you points for playing defense, because wouldn't it be cool if the judges recognized that you were doing something like that?
Yeah, it would. Right now, he's trying, but we're just mixing him up with his jab right now. I know this cat is not about to start. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, so pretty much what's going on there is he's got a cat in his house, and the cat's in heat. And that cat apparently is up all night meowing and making noise. And since they don't let the cat out of the house, it's almost like, I don't know. It's almost like being held in chastity or something.
Explain to them what it is? Like you can just give up something else on the commentary?
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy
Well,
right here. What kind of co-host is this?
I'd like to open up. I'd like to, you got some feline issues over there. I'm trying to coach them through it. There might be some people at home having some serious issues. And I think the way to handle it, if your cat's not going outside, is just to, when you go to sleep at night, you're going to have to shut the door and put your cat in the other room. I'm still seeing him boxing here, so I guess maybe he's trying to pet the cat with his foot and...
Oh my God, stop.
I mean, I don't know what's going on. Trying to play a piano with the other foot.
What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to play some slick defense.
All right.
She'll shut up eventually. She don't need to get out the house, though. It's dangerous out of these streets.
All right.
I seen some stuff with these cats out on the street.
Oh, I've seen it too.
Talking, man.
I mean, I remember when I lived in Brooklyn, I remember hearing a couple of cats outside fighting at 3 a.m. And I sat there and I honestly said to myself, is that two cats fighting outside, or is that two babies going at it?
Nah, if you ever hear a cat cry, man, after a street fight, that is no joke.
Yeah.
You feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is with cats, though, they play...
Are we really talking about cats right now?
But we're going to wind it into boxing, because cats do play a lot of offense, and I don't see them playing a lot of defense. They do have the footwork. They damn sure have the work rate and the agility, but they don't cover up.
With this, why am I chasing? I'm not going to chase this guy, man. Come get your win, for real. Box on the out. Let me show y'all some real outboxing, because what I see from most guys here, like if you watch Muhammad Ali, man, or any outside fighter, they're in range so they can punch, and they just step out of range.
Right.
When it's time for their opponent to throw at them, but they don't know. Most of these guys think if they run in the track meet that they're doing real outboxing. Real outboxing is being on the edge of your range and moving around your opponent.
You're right.
And getting off some combinations. Like, outboxers throw more punches than inside fighters, if most people haven't realized.
Well, I mean, how many fights did we see where, one guy was winded. Unfortunately, he's in the ring with Muhammad Ali. And you see Muhammad Ali, he's leaning against the ropes, but he's not leaning against the ropes because he's hiding or because he's hurt. He's got a grin on his face, and he's sticking those combos, mostly jabs, but he's also working those other things in and just toying with the guy.
Yeah. So I don't understand why most of these people have this misconception that I'm outside fighting if I'm running around the ring. Outside fighter does not mean outside of the ring. It means or out towards the outside of the ring. It means outside of your opponent's range.
I'm waiting to see one of these outside fighters just springboard out onto the ring apron.
Maybe it might happen one day.
I mean, you might see it in the next Fight Night game.
So like right now we're mixing this dude up, but we're doing it as an outside fighter. This is how an outside fighter fights, man. You'll see when you get to this round. You'll hear us talking about it. That's how you outbox. You don't outbox by running around the ring. You outbox by jabbing and moving on the outside. So that's the god damn. Look at that. Look at that. 55% to his 34. With 478 straights and 165 left uppercuts.
Damn.
Like, do you even throw combos, man? He threw one right hook the entire fight.
That's a lot of straights.
Right?
I mean, dude, you wouldn't even throw that many straights if you're hitting a heavy bag.
What's wrong with this guy?
What kind of coaches get? Hey, yeah, just don't worry about combos. Just hit that heavy bag. Throw I don't know, 350. Throw 400 straights.
What the hell is like he threw more than half of his punches were straights. More than half.
Oh.
What kind of arsenal does that guy have?
Well, and I don't even think it's sometimes, people spam and it's a good technique. I don't even think it's a good technique for spamming purposes, throwing that many straights, because you're really just telling somebody, hey, this is what I'm going to keep doing, and get ready to just keep throwing counter punches.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that guy. Let's search for another OWC fight.
All right, let me ask you the question.
Hold on. We got the message.
All right.
This is the best. This is the best thing. Leave in the comment section before I click out this message. Do you think the guy's an asshole, or do you think he's just legitimately saying good fight?
He's gonna say good fight.
Okay, that's Arachnid's prediction. I'll give it 10 more seconds before I go into my message box. All right, we're checking the message now.
Because he's gonna make you the asshole now.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
He said, "Are you from the YouTube channel?" Yes, I am. He knows who I am, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Because he was boxing like he had watched some of your tutorials.
I don't hand out no tutorials like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I was about to ask you, though,
for the old league.
with the amount of straights he threw in that match, do you think that when you looked at your counter punches that you connected with a sufficient amount of counter punches?
Do I think I connected with it? I didn't check that on the scorecards, but I think I didn't really counter punch that much. I know a lot of people say I'm a good counter puncher, but when I decide to counter punch, yeah, I counter punch well. But for the most part, oh wow, they got Borderlands 2 coming to the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part, I just like to throw punches, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you got... Well, I was just talk about it. You got Borderlands 2 coming to the Vita. You got a Borderlands game, which is going to be kind of like the Walking Dead game, coming to the PS3. And you've also, at some point, got Borderlands 3 on the way, which will be handled by, I believe, a different studio, but still 2K. Just throwing that. Just throwing that out there. And at the same time, they're still making a bunch of DLC for Borderlands 2. I believe they've been making it for a year and a half now, and they're still doing it.
All right, guys, we got a lightweight OWC fight. I haven't won a lightweight OWC fight since maybe last year. So
Yeah.
yeah. Do you guys think he's going to be a spammer, or do you think he's going to be a straight-up fighter? Leave it in the comment section below, man. I want to see what you guys think. Well, let's get these predictions in there.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. I saw one of your recent commentaries, and you alluded to just briefly that you were think that you've done a little bit of boxing training before, and you were thinking about going back to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to start back up on that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun doing it the first time, and I learned quite a bit of stuff, and I also learned how to defend myself, and when to use violence and not to use it.
Yeah.
I miss
Well,
that.
I mean, that's the big difference between people who have actually had training, not only in boxing, but judo, taekwondo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. They always very early on teach you that discipline aspect. Whereas the guy who's just grown up being a rager, being a hateful, spiteful, vindictive person, he always wants to fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always a good moment to fight, and there's never, it's never a good moment to fight, is what I should say. You only fight if you have to. I've learned that the hard way. Not the
Right.
hard way. What am I talking about? Some people have learned that the hard way. What the heck is this guy doing? But some people learn that the hard way. I feel like the only time I fight is when I feel disrespected or threatened, or if I have to prove something, or of course
Yeah.
defend myself. But I wouldn't just go out there and look for a fight, 'cause
What?
that's just wrong.
I mean, listen, I grew up in the Mojave Desert. All right, I grew up in the hottest part of the country, and we have rattlesnakes here. And I've never been attacked by rattlesnake, and I actually don't know anyone who's been attacked by rattlesnake because their whole thing is they try at all costs not to fight because
Well,
there's no
he's
point in
done.
it. They're gonna if a rattlesnake bites you and loses its teeth, it's gonna die because it can't eat. It's the same thing. You fight in real life. Not only might you get hurt and it might screw up your health for the rest of your life, but now his boys are going to come back after you. It starts a whole thing. It's so much easier to just stay out of it.
Yeah, that's so soft though. How you gotta bring somebody else to fight your battles because you couldn't win? I never
Yeah.
understood the aspect of jumping somebody. Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, but enough about
Oh, well, this guy
enough about
sucks.
enough about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wow. Yeah, man. Then I don't think I've ever told him my Grand Theft Auto 5 story.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was playing the online rank match, not the online rank match, the online mode for Grand Theft Auto 5. I was in there just buying some clothes. Now I must have walked in 5 minutes. Now I swear to God, people take Grand Theft Auto 5 as if it's real life, because I walked into the store, I was just buying some clothes. I wasn't bothering anybody. Now all I hear is a whole bunch of people join the lobby on the mics, on the headsets, talking about we run this lobby. Wow, okay, he connected really nice there. We run this lobby, we do this, we do that, and I'm just ignoring them. I'm like, let me just continue to buy these clothes and, continue to try to see if I can find something that I like. What was this guy doing? But, so while I'm buying clothes, all I hear is, I turn around while I go to the other side of the store, and I see like 5 guys in front of the store and like 3 other guys in the store. And then I look out the shop window and there's like 3 guys walking around. I think there's 12 people up in that lobby. Now all I see is this random guy coming there with no mic, and then he puts his mic on and he tries to walk into the store. And the guy's like, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, oh snap. So I turn around and I start watching what's going on. So the guy's just like, I'm just trying to go in here and buy clothes. And he said, the niggas tell you can roll up in here? Then everybody pulls out some pistols and starts shooting the guy up and then take all of his money. And I'm like, you know what? Let me hurry up and get the hell out of the store. They're beating him up. And after that, I ran straight down the block to the ATM and never played Grand Theft Auto Online again. Some real thugs on that game, man.
I mean, I haven't played that game, but I used to play Red Dead Redemption, the only thing that's as bad as that, probably worse, is animal cruelty. And you're just riding around on your horse, and somebody just runs up and stabs your horse to death.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
I don't know, man. I think there's something about Rockstar games that just brings out the asshole in people. Let's hope Rockstar never makes a boxing game.
Oh, God. I thought EA was bad with it.
Oh man. Yes, I'm having some issues here. I don't know what it is. I got that good laptop, but having some streaming issues. So I'm not sure what's going on
Is
your
your
end over
stream
there.
playing?
It's playing, but it's buffering more than it should.
Huh. That's interesting.
Like I'm still seeing the Foreman fight going on when I hit refresh.
Wow, really?
Yeah, for some reason, every time I hit it, it's like rewinding to back to part of that match.
Do you have it clicked red where it says live?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me see. Maybe it just went near you. Public view.
I probably should have looked on my phone just now before I turned it off. I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing the comment section went dead, so I don't know if that's because they are just enjoying the stream or if there's some kind of technical issue going on.
Shouldn't be a technical issue. I've streamed many times and this hasn't happened. It normally cuts out once, but for what? I can't really say. That being said, I should probably just end the stream here.
Yeah, that's the 2 hour mark, even though you started late, so.
God, that cat is annoying as hell. Yeah, not exactly sure what's going on with the stream. Shouldn't be that far behind.
Do you think we were ever on, or do you think it was all just a figment of our imaginations?
No, we were on. Those comments are nobody's comments.
Yeah, but yeah, you were saying the names first, so maybe you were saying them, and I'm just kind of going along with your delusion.
What? It's only arachnid, I swear.
I'm saying there's certain movies I see dead people. You know how that plays out. Certain things, and you say, well, yeah, I never did see the mother talking to that guy.
I can't believe I almost fell for this. I'm just gonna ignore him for a second and see what's going on with the stream.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it's a YouTube thing. I don't think it's me.
Yeah, it must be YouTube messing up.
Well, yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here since we're having a lot of technical difficulties at this moment. Hope you guys did enjoy everything that went down during the stream, and hopefully if you ever get to this part that you do enjoy it. It's been your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sofa commentator, with Mr. Arachnid Soul. Make sure you check his channel out along with Dave the Rip One's channel, and also get ready to check out that podcast coming up Saturday between myself, Arachnid Soul, Sakuraba, and hopefully Dave the Rip One and Red Eye Jedi on future podcasts. And I'm off this. Peace.